Hello and welcome to Tyson Teddy Talk episode 19. Oh my god. 19. We're
We're
getting
almost
up
at
there.
20. We're
That's crazy.
legally able to drink in Canada, and in 2 more
Canada.
years.
And most countries, to be
most
honest.
countries, yeah, everywhere pretty much except the United States.
It's crazy. Really. You know, some might
That's
say
still really kind of weird.
it's interesting. Also,
Anyone.
my name is Teddy. This is Tyson, and this is Ion. Oh no! Hold on. Wait.
It's just a black
she's
screen.
Looking. She's looking up. Oh my god, the timing.
I
Hello.
heard her name.
She did. She just chilling. She just hanging out. She just went to the bathroom a little bit ago, and now we're here recording, and she's just chilling by my feet. She's a good little puppy. But this is a show where we talk about things. I haven't talked to you in a while, Tyson. What the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? What's up?
Not much. It's just work is demanding, and I've just been working, and then there's not really a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's like this weird limbo-esque thing. Like even yesterday, I was playing some games, but I'm just like, I don't feel like playing anything really.
Yeah.
Outriders, it was
Sometimes you
going
get
great.
those.
It was going so great. And then on
happened?
Thursday, no, it's Thursday. They're like, hey, here's the first patch. And they just nerfed everything into the ground.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Damn, dude.
They nerfed like two
So-
classes, and then one of the classes was mine, was the trickster, and it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, nobody's happy about it. And
Aw.
it's just like I don't understand, and I was sort of talking to Jace about it. It doesn't make sense like why they patch if it's not a live service game. There's no PvP. I don't understand
Why?
what the point is.
Yeah, that's true.
They've said it
why
many times.
exactly
This
try
isn't a
and
live service game. This
get
isn't.
things balanced?
But also, the game has been out for a week. Maybe hold
Yeah.
off on the nerfs a little bit. Even Bungie was like, you know what? This gun is too overpowered. But we're gonna let you have it for like a month.
Yeah, but that's just because Bungie's slow.
I don't think so. I think it's like prioritizing also. But
Yeah.
but like at the same time, they can also see that people are like, hey, this is really cool. Look at what we can do with this gun or whatever. It's awesome. Let's just have it for more than a week after the
that's
game's
weird.
initial release. When
Yeah, that's
most
very
people are like, hey, should I pick up Outriders? Yeah, for sure, in this first week. And now it's like, should I pick up Outriders? And I'm like, no, maybe you should wait until they like patch
Do
it
some more balancing. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of. I mean, the only other closer things to Outriders is like Borderlands, and they don't really do that. They just said, "Fuck it,
sort of-
have your
yeah, like-
crazy guns."
They sort of do, but that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's as drastic as. And the thing
Yeah.
is, they nerfed a lot, and they didn't like raise anything else. So they nerfed a lot of like the skills, and there still isn't like there's a lot of customization, but there's not a ton. It's not like there's more customization in Borderlands than I feel in Outriders, and so like when you nerf like a skill, that skill is just kind of like useless. Like there's not, I don't know. It was just upsetting, and
Just a bummer, you know.
yeah, and
Don't
it kind
have
of just
your
like it
crazy
soured my
abilities.
taste on like wanting to play that game because I'm like, oh
Yeah.
well, now it's gonna be even harder to get to those like higher expedition tiers. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you already
it's weird.
beat the game and
Oh,
got
yeah.
into like the expeditions? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
The story's not actually that long.
supposed
Story's
to be like
not
30 hours.
bad at the end. Like nearing the end, I was like, for one, I was following it. Two, there were some like pretty like holy shit moments. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then the expeditions, like that loop, is really cool.
Yeah.
And so I just don't
That's
know
good.
why they make it harder. Weird.
Man, they want you playing longer. I mean, probably not. They probably
No,
don't
because it's
give
the
a shit.
same thing like Avengers. It's like, hey, let's make this harder for people to get to like the end level. And then it's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not going to do that. I would enjoy hard content for one, cosmetics. These are the things that people do stupid, mindless content, hard content for. Like, look at Final Fantasy. There's people
Look at
doing,
Warframe.
yeah, like, but there's people in Final Fantasy doing like the raid for a hairstyle. For a hairstyle. So
Yeah.
don't like make it harder. You can make it hard, but like, I don't know. I don't know the
Warframe's
balance.
whole thing, everyone calls it fashion frame, is the end game.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
literally just try to get looks. So like sometimes cosmetics are really important.
Oh yeah,
know?
definitely. And there's
Depends
no
on the game.
like there's no transmog in Outriders, so you can get a cool piece, but it looks like trash, or you get a trash piece and it looks good, and then it's just
Yeah.
like that's.
Damn.
Hopefully,
That's a bummer.
hopefully they get some updates. Hopefully they turn it into a live service game, and then maybe they can I don't know do some other things. But for now,
Yeah,
it's kind of on
I
my
don't
back
know.
burner.
That game is interesting to me because they were very much like, oh, it's not a live service game. We're just putting this out and this is it. And I'm like, yeah, but like, are you going to do that if you make a ton of money? Like, you sure you're not going to then be like, ooh, we got to jump on this? Because that's what most companies do whenever something does really well. Then they, like, you know, keep going on that. So it's like, I don't know. It's a little too soon to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad I bought it. I had fun with it. I played I think like 40 hours in like the week that it's been out. So
Jesus.
I've had like a good chunk of time with it. And you know what? If they get some updates, then I'll be like, yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, that's cool. You got a good amount of time and fun with that for sure, you know.
then Destiny's just been Destiny.
Also, 40 hours in a week is at least like 6 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 5.7.
Well, because like on,
That's
but like on the
crazy.
weekend, there's
Yeah.
like it was like all day.
Yeah. That's
And
wild.
then-
I haven't done that. I was gonna say I haven't done that with a game in a bit, but I'd probably. I definitely did that with Final Fantasy a few months ago when I got really into that for a bit. So, oh man,
I mean, I work out, and then I game, and there's not really a lot. There's nothing. You can't like go out and do anything these days. So it's like, what
Yeah.
else am I gonna do?
Yeah. So I almost started Avatar: The Last Airbender, the greatest show ever, for like the 12th time last night, and then I was like, no, Tyson will be too mad at me. Well, to be fair too, it was already pretty late. So what I started was I found on Disney Plus the WandaVision behind the scenes thing. It's just called Assembled. And it looks like they made that its own show because they're probably going to do one of those for like
For every
a
show,
bunch
yeah.
of stuff, you know, for every show or even like movies when they come out and stuff like that. So I put that in my list and I started watching that. I only watched like the first little bit because I just ate some food and then went to sleep. But it's really cool, man. I love behind the scenes stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I haven't been
Yeah.
really been watching. I've been watching
I haven't really either.
Lie to Me, because that's on Disney
Ooh.
Plus. Have you heard?
Okay, what's that? No,
It was an
I
old
haven't heard of
show. I forget. It's like in the 2010s. It's I forget his name. He was in Pulp Fiction, and he was the
it.
villain.
Samuel L. Jackson.
No, he's the British guy that was the villain in Hulk movie.
Ooh, the Abomination dude.
Abomination dude. Yeah,
I don't know his name at
forget his-
all.
It's like
but
is it
I know
not
exactly
Ray?
who you're talking about.
He's like shorter, yeah, and he's like I think he's British from the UK.
I'm gonna find it.
But I loved the show when it was on TV. It was just like a Fox cable show. Pretty much it's all about like this guy. He's the lead, Dr. Lightman. He can tell like when you're lying. So like you have like micro expressions where like you look down and you do this and so he kind of like has a
Yeah.
company and they
Sounds
like
like Psych.
I've heard of Psych. I don't think
Oh
I've never
wow!
watched it.
You gotta at least watch like the pilot or something just to kind of get
Isn't
it.
it like a
'Cause it's
comedy
so
though?
fun. It is. It's
Yeah.
100% a comedy. It's fun. It's a good time.
Um,
But
and so
that's
like
basically his whole thing. Not exactly with lying, but in Psych, he was like trained as a kid to like notice every little detail. So like he just pretends that he's psychic, but he really just sees shit.
that's like The Mentalist, which is another show like that. But Lie to Me is really cool because like I don't know if any of it is true, what they sort of like talk about, but they'll like say like, oh no, like one time a dude was pouring. They're like, oh let's get something to drink. Let's get some coffee, and then they asked him a question, and he did not pour while he was telling the story. So like that. The story was like a lie because it's harder for our brains
taking more focus
because like you're
on-
focusing
yeah.
on telling the story rather than
Yeah.
recalling a memory. If you're just recalling a
Yeah.
memory, it's just like that.
It's cool.
And I don't know if any of that's true, but I was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, but it's cool stuff at least. It's a cool idea.
And
I'm
then I
trying
watched Jennifer's Body last night.
That's a movie I've heard about a billion times, but never
I've seen it. Like I watched it when it first came out, but I didn't remember a single
Isn't
thing.
it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no,
I don't know what the consensus is. I didn't check after I watched the movie if
Is it a
if people
horror
think it's
movie?
good or bad. I enjoyed myself. It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just like a weird. There were some like kind of creepy parts. It's like
Yeah,
a comedy
it's-
horror.
Yeah, that's so weird. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a humor horror movie. It's
Yeah.
so odd.
I liked it. It was all right.
It was all right.
I saw
Glowing
it on Twitter
endorsement.
and then I was
Put it
like,
on
oh,
the
I
box.
remember Jennifer's Body, and I was like, maybe I should watch that again. Then
There
I
you go.
watched it again, and I was like,
Hell
yeah, it was all right.
It was fine. Yeah, I
Chris
I
Pratt's
don't
in
think
it.
I watched any movies. Really? Wow. Was he
He's-
like super young?
He's super young, and he was only in the beginning, and then I think like his character dies. Like
Damn.
he has like 3
Hold on,
lines.
Bryan Cranston
Yeah,
from
he's just
the
like
2014 Godzilla.
it's just like, but I don't think like he's like Chris Pratt. I don't think he was in anything
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah. Trying to think. I don't think I didn't watch any movies last week. Shocker.
You didn't watch Godzilla,
And-
Monkey
No.
versus Gorilla versus.
Because again,
Lizard?
I'd have to watch 2 of them, and I don't want to watch 2 of them. If I had to just watch one, I would have done it. But I was like, oh, there's another. No, I'm not doing that. But let's see. I watched like shows, but I didn't like start any new show or anything. I'm just like keeping up with current stuff. But there's like current stuff that's so good. Falcon and Winter Soldier is great. Invincible, the last Invincible episode was fucking awesome. Like even better than all the previous ones. My Hero Academia is back. So that's a thing that I've been watching. There's only 2 of those so far though. Attack on Titan's gone. It's very upsetting.
Gone.
I don't have that to look forward to anymore on Sundays. I'm like, well,
Then you can fill that Sunday with watching a movie,
I could. That is an option for
which
me.
you won't, and then your theatrical knowledge is slowly going down the toilet.
It's true. You know, you're not wrong. But I want to play video games. You know what I mean?
But you could do both.
I mean, not as much as I want. I will say, like, this weekend, I don't have a ton going on. So, like, tomorrow, I legitimately do want to, like, sit down and play a game for a while, which is, like, hard to make myself do if I'm not streaming. I'm trying to think. Playing what I've been playing the last week. I mean, I only started streaming. I just skipped Monday, and then I streamed the rest of the week. But, like, I'm so happy that we are in kind of a slow period because nobody's like playing anything specific, and that means I wrangled so many friends to play Rogue Company, and I came back from camping and I still got them back, and I was like, yes. So we're back in there. It's so good. A bunch of them, Dragons and Garrett, which are 2 out of like the 5 people that have been playing, other than me, are both level 30, so they're the right level for ranked. So I have 3. I need 1 more person. We can play ranked. It's gonna be great. I Oh God, I love that fucking game so much. It's so good, and it's just so many good moments, especially for like Squeegee, who's genuinely very good at the game. Like he's a very good video game player. He's a god gamer, as some might say, you know. But there's been so many like clips where it's very Valorant and CS:GO, so like he'll be the last one alive. It'll be him versus 3 people, and we'll just all shut up so that he can hear, and then we'll just watch him like pull out his melee weapon, throw his fucking katana across the map, get a kill, turn, and I'm like, oh my god, Squeegee! It's great. It's so much fun. There's literally one where he did something that like that, and I went back in my chair and said, holy fucking shit! That was the best thing I've ever seen. It's great. And I've been playing that game for a long time, like when it was in beta and then initially released. So it was literally just like 4 maps and like, I don't know, 10 rogues, and there's probably like 15 or 16 now, maybe more. And now there's like multiple game modes and a bunch of new maps, and there's ranked, which didn't exist before. Now I have friends playing it. So like most of the time that I've played that game was in a very basic state. So now there's a battle pass, which is already more than I'm used to, and that's been fun. But even just playing the last couple weeks, we're just hopping on and playing games. That's it. We're just playing games. And whereas on Tuesday, they're doing like their first in-game event where there's going to be like kind of missions and stuff, just challenges and bounties and whatnot, which, you know, is better than nothing. It's very simple, but I'm like, oh, cool. And then there'll be like a new map and a new game mode and all that. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I didn't even know about that. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's on Tuesday.
I'm excited for Tuesday, but
fun.
I'm also behind because that's the new patch for Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm not like caught up. I still have like 15 quests to do. I don't know if I'll make it in time, but
you could. If
I
you,
could.
You know, if you just got in there.
But the thing is like
down.
you see, oh, there is 15 quests. These quests, there's a lot of talking, and I mean like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No, not even to the extent that you think.
Oh,
like
God.
one quest will take like 20 minutes, and it's just like talking. And it's good. It's just like it's really hard.
There's just a lot.
To like no, it's hard to like keep going like constantly with those.
Yup. Mm-hmm. Yep. That I mean, again, that's my only complaint with that game. It's just it's hard to binge when there's something like that. It's not even that it's bad. It's just hard to you just don't want to just do that and listen and talk for hours. Now then it's like, okay, like come on, let me do something.
On the flip side, like you can't like put in filler like useless like go over here and kill monsters because then you're bloating it.
I think it helped the pacing. I would gladly welcome that.
No, but I don't want.
If it was literally like, hey, go kill
filler.
these 5 things and come talk to me, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
No.
Oh my god, but why? Like it's
because it's
get
pointless.
To do a thing.
I
but
hate
you get to
games,
do something and have fun.
I hate games where it's like the world is ending, and we have to come together and fight this evil, and then it's like, hey, can you go collect 6 chicken eggs for me? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is part of the main quest? No, I do not like that. That is filler just to get you to go and do something that's not, I don't think that's good pacing. I think that's lazy pacing because you just are throwing shit in there that doesn't need to be in there.
I mean, pacing is good. The content itself is questionable, sure. But like the pacing is what it would improve. Because otherwise you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over. You know? But yeah, that's fair. It is always very weird in games where it's the world is ending and then they're like, hey, you know, go get me my bag from the storage room across the world.
It just like takes me out of like the caring about the story. Where it's like the story is really cool, and then
I guess
like,
I very rarely ever care about the story to that degree. But to be honest, most of the time in games, that's usually the side quests. Most of the time, that's usually like the optional thing. And if you just mainline the main thing, then you don't get that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And that's kind of like what what Final Fantasy is just there's a lot of exposition and a lot of like talking, and I guess because I have binged this game for 4 months, mostly just the main story, and I've gone through 3 expansions in a very short amount of time. It's just like it's like a lot, and I'm trying to like push
Yep.
because like the finish line is like in sight.
Yeah.
also
I got tired of it after a month. That's not to say it's bad and that I don't even like it, because I do like
you don't
it,
like
but I
story.
just, you know.
And we get it.
That's
we
not
get
true.
It.
I like
we get
story,
it. We get it.
but it
Teddy.
needs to be
We
done
get it.
well.
You don't like
It needs
story.
to be paced well.
You'd probably
Which,
watch
to be
The
honest,
Breakfast
is what I
Club
was doing.
and be like, you know what? This is a terrible story. Nothing happened in this
I'd
movie.
probably like The Breakfast Club.
You have no idea what it's about.
No, I do. That's what I'm saying. I've
What is it
heard
about?
like what it's kind of about.
What is it about? What is
okay,
it about?
You're gonna laugh at me. Okay, you're gonna fucking make fun of me so hard. Do you want to know my main point of reference for The Breakfast Club?
Okay.
It's when the Nickelodeon show Victorious did an episode that was
oh my
a
God,
parody.
I'm so done. I can't help it, but like your taste meter is too far to recover.
Oh my God.
Where it's like you're gonna be like, no, this is nothing like the show that I saw in Victorious. So this is terrible, and I'm going to blow my brains out.
I wouldn't do that. That's funny.
But you probably watch it and you'd be like, this is kind of a boring movie.
Maybe. I don't know.
And then
Isn't the
I would
whole
never
point of
talk
it
to
that
you
like
again.
nothing happens?
No.
Isn't that like the point where it's kind of just, silly? Mm.
I don't think it's a silly. Well, no, I don't think it's a silly movie. I don't really know how to describe it except for like it's a coming of age movie.
All right. Interesting.
Every person on this planet should have watched like The Breakfast Club, Back to the Future, and we go into the 90s. Well, they should have watched Terminator. You haven't watched Terminator, which is weird. And it's not a horror movie.
When did Terminator come out?
I think it's like 1990.
1984. I was born in 1996. Give me a break.
Have you seen
What do you
Star
want
Wars?
from me? Yeah, of course.
That's 1975.
Star Wars is fucking one of the most iconic things on the planet, dude.
How many Terminator movies are there?
I mean, there's a few. There's a
A
good
few.
bit, right?
There's like,
Isn't there like
6.
6? Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot. But aren't some of those like deemed to be like not good by people?
Oh yeah, but like same with Star Wars. There's 6 Star Wars movies and 3 that must not be named. But I'm just saying, like you can't use that excuse where it's like, oh, that's an old movie and I was born at this time. How would I have even seen
Yeah,
it?
you can. You 100% can. You're
you
a
seen-
lot less likely to have seen a movie for something
Have
like
you seen
that.
The
It's
Wizard
not
of
like-
Oz?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Long time ago, but yeah.
Have you seen The Sound of Music?
By my mom watching it. Like I wasn't paying
Just
full
sit down
attention.
and watch it. That's a good fucking movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, this is stupid. But
I
I
don't mean
was
like
a kid, so.
watching every movie from like the 60s and 70s, but like
No,
the
I
pivotal
know.
movies. Yes, you should watch if you love film and movies and storytelling.
To be honest, I only recently started appreciating film more recently than before, and even then, I was just having fun going to see like new movies. But
so like in 20 years,
general,
when
I
a
just
kid
like
is like,
TV
you know what, that Lord of the Rings movie, that movie came out 20 years ago. I'm not gonna watch that. You'd be like,
I'm
oh
not
yeah,
saying,
that makes sense.
but that's
oh, yeah,
not
that
what I'm
makes sense.
saying. That's a different thing.
No, it's
I'm
not.
saying if that kid said I hadn't seen Lord of the Rings, I'd be like, oh, I understand. Literally, like if a kid
wouldn't.
right now my age, or even let's say younger, let's say like a kid like 18, 19, it says, like I had this happen at work. Like there was a coworker who told me she hadn't seen any Star Wars. And I was like, honestly, totally understandable. It's fucking, at that point, I think I was like,
But
it's
do
8
they
movies.
love? Do they love like movies in general? Like if they're like love movies and then they're like, no, I haven't seen.
I wouldn't
this
even
stuff.
say I love movies. I like movies. They're not my they're literally like TV, games, movies. They're my third favorite. Like, you know, I like movies, but I'm not like a film buff or fan or anything like that. But I enjoy them. I enjoy a good movie. But it's just harder to get me to sit down and do a movie than, and that's why I really fucking liked AMC fucking Stubbs A-list, and now that fucking movie theaters are gone, it's upsetting because I forced myself. It was every Sunday. I was like, I'm gonna go see a movie every Sunday, and I went in, and then it was like I have to turn off my phone and I have to watch this, and I enjoyed myself, and it was great. It was very therapeutic, but it's a lot harder to do that now when I have like, when I'm here and I'm like, oh, but
You just turn off your phone.
games are right here, and that's hard to do for me. You know, I gotta force myself.
Yeah,
to do it,
you're a Zoomer generation.
You're correct in some aspects. I mean, technically,
like-
I don't believe I'm a Zoomer, but
No, technically you are.
no, we've talked about this before. I don't know if it was with you.
You
I
are.
talked about this with somebody recently. I'm technically a millennial. I'm pretty sure.
No, you are not. I'm
I'm
sorry.
finding it right now.
I'm sorry.
I'm fairly sure it literally ends in 1996.
No, it's like 92 or 3.
No way.
Yeah.
What is this? This is so stupid. It literally says millennials were born between 1981 and 1994/6. Okay, pick a year.
Well, that's
Here, let me
like 2
see.
years. That's weird.
Yeah, I know, right? If you're gonna like do a slash,
You're-
it would be like 4 or 5. Like, that's weird.
It's okay. You can admit you're a Zoomer. And
no,
that's just-
millennials says 96.
What
I'm
website is
technically a
this?
millennial. I'm on Wikipedia. Okay, I know my college professors would be like, "Oh, it's not an acceptable source."
No, it's not.
Oh, here, PewResearch.org, where millennials end and Generation Z begins. Let's see. Pew Research Center decided a year ago to use 1996 as the last birth year for millennials for our future work. Anyone born between 1981 and 1996 is considered a millennial, and anyone born from 1997 onward is part of a new generation.
You're a
Suck my
Zoomer.
dick.
You're a Zoomer.
I literally
But-
just
but the
read
thing
to
is-
you the statistic.
It's wrong.
You're telling me the Pew Research Center is wrong?
This is when
Come
I
on.
can,
That's like the most acceptable
because
source.
the majority of millennials all kind of think alike. That's why it's that generational
I
gap.
understand that in a
Same
mindset,
with Gen Z.
I'm more of a
Gen
Zoomer.
Z all kind
Zoomer.
of think alike. Same with Boomers, all kind of think alike, and then
Mm-hmm.
Zoomers all kind of think alike. If you had to take a test, like a BuzzFeed test, and it's like, am I a Zoomer or a
Let's do
Boomer? You would get a Zoomer, 100%.
I wonder if that exists. I'm looking for BuzzFeed
Oh, no.
Zoomer quiz. Oh no, this is music. Damn. Let's see.
But you
Boomer,
would,
Gen X, Gen Z, or Millennial quiz.
and you know that you would. You know that you would.
Probably. Yeah, that's
So
what
you're
I'm
a
saying.
Zoomer.
Is I'm in a mindset way, in a like mentally, definitely more of a Zoomer, but statistically, I'm a millennial.
No, you're.
All right,
a
I'm doing
Zoomer.
this. I'm taking this
You're a
BuzzFeed
Zoomer
quiz
to me.
live.
You're a Zoomer to me, and to everybody on the internet.
I mean, I don't think you can speak for them, but you know that's
I just did.
shit. You're right.
They
Okay,
can't
pick a plant to own.
they-
Fiddle leaf tree,
if they
snake plant,
object-
peace lily, yucca plant.
If the internet objects, say something now. Okay, see they didn't say anything.
Damn,
so
they didn't say anything. You're right, dude. You've stubbed your toe, but you're in the presence of a child, so can't swear. Express your anger in a different way. These are
you
so
just
funny.
stubbed your toe. Just hunker down. Like
Just be like,
you don't.
"Oh," you know?
You don't.
Okay, so it has 4 different. This is so funny. One is sugar! Exclamation point. Oh bloody hell! That's just British. Oh fork or gosh darn it. I mean, out of those, if I had to, it would be gosh darn it. What do you do first in the morning? Check my phone, snooze the alarm, make the bed. Snooze the alarm. Pick a vegetable. Brussels sprouts, carrots, potatoes, broccoli. Potatoes. Pick a cat to own.
Potatoes
Oh my
aren't
god,
a
it has 4
vegetable.
pictures of cats. Yeah, that's a good point.
Izzy, Zoomer brain.
Wait, hold on. What are potatoes? They're
Well, they're,
technically like a grain, right, or whatever.
No, they're a starch.
No,
Well, it's a
that's not true.
starch.
Yeah, but it's still technically a vegetable. Yeah.
But it's like not a vegetable.
Yeah, it's not a green vegetable.
You don't like, oh, I'm just gonna eat potatoes and I'll get my daily intake of vegetables.
The last one is what annoys you the most when people say sick to mean cool. When people say lol out loud rather than laughing. Ooh. When people say like a lot or when people use business jargon. I mean, if somebody says lol out, fuck off.
Everybody says that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it says I'm Gen Z.
It
says you're gonna change the world.
Gen
This is what Gen Z is Zoomers. What are you talking about? That's
I'm
what
thinking
that
Gen
is.
X. I got Z and
yeah.
X mixed up.
I think X is the most recent one, right?
Yeah.
Like the current, yeah. It literally, the Gen Z caption says, "You're gonna change the world one TikTok at a time." I don't use TikTok.
You're the weirdest Zoomer
You got me.
I have ever.
It's true. I'm at the end of millennials, so it is.
But you have
I do have a
boomer
Zoomer mind.
tendencies, or even like Gen X tendencies.
Hey man,
where it's like
everyone's unique. All right, you don't have to fall into
Nobody's
one.
unique.
You don't have
Nobody
to.
is. Nobody's unique. We're all the same.
That's the title of the episode. Nobody's
Nobody's unique. Everybody's like, you're
not special. It's the
you're
title
all
of the
your own
episode.
special snowflake. No, fuck that. We're all the same. Let's just
Oh my God.
deal with
The title of the episode is gonna be "You're Not Special." God damn. No, it's true though. Everybody's unique. Everybody can has their own. You don't have to fall into a label. You know. I'm a very weird person that I have a lot of like personality traits that are very conflicting with each other. Like I like this thing, which normally people who like this thing wouldn't also like this thing, but I do. So, you know. And for a while that weirded me out, but at this point, I've accepted it, and that's just me.
I just think you need to watch some pivotal movies before you die, because
I mean, I agree. That's my point. I'm not saying I'm not going to.
But it's like
but I would
it's
like
like
to.
But then why not one a week? And then you're like, oh no, I
don't want to that badly.
Oh my God, like it's not even that much.
Also, okay, this is a random thing, but I just remembered it. Dragons brought this up to me and it made me upset, and I'm very sorry. Last week, I 100% spoiled Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So if people, without any sort of spoiler warning, and literally Dragons is watching the show, and he was like, thanks for that, by the way. What?
How far?
It was during the Falcon and Winter Soldier spoilers. I mentioned Coulson and said a thing.
Oh, like the end? I mean, like how far into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, like the
end.
Okay. Yeah, I just mentioned that and didn't even
Coulson's
think
alive.
about it.
That's like the season premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Because like last time we saw him, he was dead.
We just spoiled it again.
That's a season premiere.
No,
that's the series premiere where it's like he was dead in watching Avengers.
Yeah. I'll try and be better about it, but I apologize. Dragons told me that, and I was like, he was like, oh, you spoiled Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for me. And I was thinking about it. I was like, well, what did I say? And he told me, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, that's a big one. But, you know, you live and you learn. But it was like during the Falcon Winter Soldier spoilers, apparently.
Spoilers are tough, and you just have to not care. It depends.
He was like, if I get to that moment and I don't have an emotional response because you will be so, and I'm like, yeah, well then that's a failure on their part. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't have an emotional response on that part by itself.
I don't think I did either. But like I always use Glenn from The Walking Dead as an example. I read the comic and I had read that moment. Spoilers for the fucking Walking Dead season 4 or 3 or whatever the fuck.
Same with
Carl.
The actor spoiled that for me.
There's a moment. There's the big moment with Glenn that's like a huge moment in the comics, and I had read it, and they were doing it on the show. Like, and it still like shocked me and like made me sad. And, like, it was still a big emotional response because even though I knew it was coming, like. It's about how it's done, not
I also
the
think
fact that it's done.
exactly. I also think it is context and intent, where it's like if somebody's like, "Hey, I haven't watched this show," and then you're like, "Oh, guess what? This happens." That's different than you're
Yeah.
just talking about it and casually like talking about a certain show, and you say a spoiler. It's not
Yeah.
your intent was not to spoil the thing. So people shouldn't get mad at you if your intent is not to spoil a certain thing.
Yeah.
People get mad
but,
where it's like, oh, hey, you
still
said a
fair.
word, and it's like, well, that was not my intent, and it's like, well, I don't care what your intent was, and it's like,
I mean,
no,
that's
like,
still fair, though. I mean, you can still. I mean, that's just in general a life emotional thing. If somebody hurts you and this is more of a deeper thing than spoilers. But like, if somebody hurts you and they didn't mean to, they still hurt you, and you're completely allowed and it's
yes,
valid
but it's not,
to feel upset.
but
and
it's
hurt.
not their fault. It is all is how you took
Still
it.
can be. 100% still can be.
Yeah.
It's not on the person for being hurt.
Yes, it
Like,
is
that's
because
fucked
they're
up.
like, if I say something and it's not my intent.
That is
Intent
still can be on you.
And context is everything.
But that is true. But there is still a level of like, you do
You're the
still
one
have
that's
to,
in control
even though
of
you didn't
your
figure.
emotions. So
Ooh, fine line here. Okay, so even though you did not like mean to hurt the person, of course, intent is very important, right? It still doesn't fucking matter you hurt the person. You have to apologize, you have to figure that shit out, and you have to go forward from there and be like, I'm going to try my best not to do that again, right? Like, even if you didn't mean to, like, you still did it, and you still have to own up to it.
but you could say that about anything. Anybody can say like, "Oh, you said Karen," and like in a derogatory term, and it's just like, yes, but it's not my intent to point it out at you specifically.
Yeah.
It's like when people say like, "Well, not all men," and it's like, "Well, no shit, not all men." You don't have to say
Yeah.
it. It's like the context of the conversation. You can't put.
Is
you
very
can't, like,
important, for
You
sure.
can't pick and pull apart somebody, whatever they're saying, and find something to get offended by.
Yeah, that's a different, yeah, for sure, I agree. That's a different sort of conversation. But yeah, absolutely.
And like, yes,
That's a specific thing.
you decide. Well, you don't decide, but your emotions decide when you get offended, and you can't control. Like, you are in control of how you react to something.
Yeah, but like, even if like something that somebody says might have hurt you and they didn't know and they didn't mean it.
But what was
right?
their intent
But
by
that
it?
doesn't mean
That's
what?
the thing. What was their intent? Was their
Doesn't matter.
intention? Yes, it does.
Doesn't
That's-
matter. Not in
yes,
this
yes, it
situation,
does.
right? If it's a relationship or a friendship, right? Let's say somebody says something that is then hurtful to the other person, and the other person basically comes back and is like, "Hey, man, just to let you know, that was upsetting. That hurt me. This is why." And like the other person goes, "Well, didn't fucking mean to. Deal with it." Like, that's shitty.
That's
you know what I
different
mean?
than
Like,
didn't fucking mean to, but I'm saying if that's not my intention of what, like, if you're taking what I'm saying differently than how I intend it,
that is still allowed and valid. That is 100% still allowed and valid for somebody to feel that and for somebody to do that, because people are different. And you have to take that and understand
People
people
are
have different
different,
experiences.
but you
People
can't-
like people have different experiences and people go through different shit, right? So like, I would say something that to one of my friends they wouldn't take it that way, right? But this other person 100% could take it that way, even if that's not how I meant it. And I have to be wary of that. Not necessarily completely change how I talk or whatever, but like, it is totally kind to understand that. If you said something that you intended not to hurt somebody with, but it did, and they explain why, and your response is like, well, I didn't mean to, like, I didn't intend to, like, your response needs to be, okay, I understand, and I'm gonna try to do better from now on. Like, I understand why. Like, there's a difference between why somebody would react some way. Like, it's being understanding and empathetic.
I don't know.
There is a level
I
of what
think
you're
we're-
saying that is completely true and
I think-
fair.
I think
and
we're-
that intention does matter, for sure.
We are in a hypersensitive time that we're living in, where like every one word now that we've used for the past like 20 years, or every saying, not 20 years, I don't know. But every word, anything that you can say now in a couple of years is going to be like, oh yeah, we can't say that anymore. And it's like, no, it's your intention. It's your intention and the context that you're using these words, and they're just fucking words. They're just made up words.
This
If you're
is
using
more
it,
of a
wait, if you're
semantic
using it
argument.
to be like insulting, to take somebody down, to do all of these things, yes, you should not use these words in those manners. But like, and here's one thing that
It doesn't matter if it still hurts the person. Just don't fucking
No.
use it.
no, but I'm saying, okay,
It's not
like,
that hard. You know what I mean?
like this is a Twitch thing where people have said blind playthrough,
Yeah.
and now we can't, you're not
I
supposed to
haven't
say
even
that.
heard anything about that, but honestly, dude, great example. If somebody, this is not even what I was talking about originally. I was talking about more of a serious conversation between people instead of like
But it's
words,
just like words
on the internet. But
words and
like
being offended by anything.
Yeah, but for this conversation here, like this is a good example. If somebody legitimately is like if somebody is blind and does not like that term and thinks that is like offensive, cool. I don't give a shit. I won't say it. It's not that hard to like just, if somebody doesn't like a thing or a certain phrase and me like not saying or doing one little simple action makes them feel better, cool. I'll do it. I don't care. Like, it's not that hard.
So if anybody takes anything that you say and says, I don't think you should say that because I'm offended by that.
Not every little thing, but if there is
I'm sorry, but that is
then
a little thing. Like a blindfold. Should we change the name to like something else?
fuck it. Yes, if it makes somebody feel better, awesome. Do it. Don't care.
Why?
Because it makes them feel better.
It's the context, the intent of the thing, of the word.
It's shitty.
Why?
Like, I get what you're saying, but like it's so minor. Like, it's such a minor, like you're saying it, like the people bring that up all the time.
Because then context
and
means
it's like,
nothing. That's what you're saying by changing anything when
not
somebody
saying
is
context
offended.
means nothing.
Context means nothing.
Context is important, but again,
But it doesn't
like,
mean anything in this.
it's not up to me to decide how others feel and what hurts them. It's not up to me.
Yes.
And if that does hurt them, then cool. I will not do it. It's not that hard.
But then again,
Like, it doesn't matter. It's such a semantic little argument of like people being like, well, everybody's offended all the time. It's like, do you really want to say the R word or the N word that bad, dude? Like, I don't.
okay, that is again drastically different because you are using those words in a derogatory, in a putting down way. Whereas blind playthrough, you're not saying that is a bad thing. There is no context, there's no intent to hurt anybody with these words. So instead, you're taking that word and being like, I'm offended. Why are you offended? Like, if you could, like, I don't know how, like, if somebody could explain how.
Yeah. Which is also super interesting.
Or it's like you listen to a lot of music and it's like, oh man, I'm going deaf.
Discussion.
And it's like, if you're not using that context, it's an actual thing. Like deafen is another word from deaf. It's just we're taking every word and trying to find a way to not use. And there's a crazy like George Carlin stand-up piece about this where like over time, like we have made words longer and harder, not harder to say, but just like where like back in the day, I'm gonna butcher this, but it's like back in the day, people in the army used to be like, they would come back from war and they would have shell shock. That's what it used to be called, shell shock. And then like over the years, and now it's like post-traumatic stress disorder. Like it's we find very nice ways to like change the language and how to say things where it's like, or somebody died, and it's like no, now somebody's passed away, and it's like no. It's just a context. Like it's true though.
It's fair. Yeah, but why does that matter at all?
But why does somebody have to why do we need to change?
Because it helps them a little bit. Because it helps people a little bit. Like, even if it's just minimally, I don't care that I have to change some words. Like, I don't know. Like,
if it's not my
matter.
intention, then I like you have to think of context over everything. I feel you can't just take what I'm saying and be like, you said this, and it's like, no. If you take something out of context, you will always find a bad thing about somebody on the internet. If you take what they say out of context, that is a huge thing.
But that's not even taking it out of context. That's not their reasoning for being upset. Like they, this is me speaking for somebody, and it's like, I don't know exactly how they feel, but I very much imagine that they're not just hearing the word blind and being like, oh no, like it's more than that. Like they understand the context. I don't think people are stupid, you know?
I'm not saying that they're stupid. I'm saying that I just don't see how that could be offensive in that context.
And that's fair, but like you're not the people who it could be offending. So that's not up to you. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
but what if one blind person says it's okay and one blind person says it's not?
Don't care. That's my whole philosophy. If one person doesn't like it and it's a very minor change, awesome, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. One person. Like that's one thing that I've seen of like what is it, like putting certain, it's very minor, like Twitch things of like putting certain tags or using like captioning or something like that on Twitch. Like I've seen streamers talk about like, why would you do this if it helps like one person and it's like an inconvenience to you otherwise? And they're like, because it helps one person. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's awesome to be able to help one person. Like, it's a minor little thing for you, you know? But I see what you're saying. Like, context is definitely important and intention is important for sure.
Yeah. I just feel it's context over everything because
that's fair.
If you don't intend for something, if you're not saying it in a malicious way, if you're even having a conversation about, say if you're having a conversation about like certain words, and then you're using them, and then somebody's like, you use that word, and it's like, you can't be afraid of the words, especially if you're using them in a context talking about the words.
Yeah.
But
that's an interesting. If somebody is offended when you are having a conversation with them about why they're offended, and that's a whole nother. That's interesting.
Like we can't have conversations even like this is even going beyond words, but it's like if two people try to have a conversation on Twitter, where it's a terrible place to have a conversation, and like with different opinions, then like people on the outside will see that as like drama. Oh, everybody's having drama. And it's like, no, people are just, two adults are just having a goddamn conversation.
Yeah,
and it's okay to be on different sides. And that's just how the world is supposed to work.
Sure. On very minor things when it comes to racism
when it's on Twitter,
or sexism or anything.
Yeah, when it's on Twitter, I mean, like you're not gonna get. I'm not talking about like those types of things.
I'm just prefacing because it sounds like just from a broad perspective, like you sound like you're using very conservative talking points. So I'm like, whoa, let's dial it back. We're talking about video games.
You could take everything I say out of context. And you'd be like, oh, well, he thinks like this. And it's like,
that's why I wanted to clarify for people. I'm like, we're talking about video games, not racism. There's a difference.
I'm talking about just like random...
conservatives use very similar talking points for racism. And it's like, no, can't really disagree on that.
I'm gonna go on the record saying when you're talking about racism, there's only like one right side of that.
Can't really disagree there.
There's only one, like all of these issues. If you say there are people on both sides, you are wrong. Dead wrong.
That's where it gets concerning.
When you're talking about like, oh, I think Thanos should have been blue. It's like, and you know what? Then there's people on both sides for probably multiple reasons.
Oh my god. There's two great titles for this episode. It could either be Blue Thanos or You're Not Special. Oh my god.
I mean, if they made Thanos blue, then he wouldn't be compared with like Grimace.
That's true.
He looks a lot like Grimace.
Let's have a discussion about Blue Thanos right now.
That's what
You know,
happens.
honestly,
you know?
I'd prefer him if he was green. Make more sense that
No.
he's Gamora's.
But then you look like Shrek.
Yeah, that's a very.
I just don't
Shrek.
think we have a big blue. He's not.
Do we?
What's
I
that
feel like
race
we
called?
don't really have too many big purple people. I mean, like Barney, you know.
Barney
Trying to
Grimace.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Kool-Aid Man when
purple's
he has grape Kool-Aid. Even though he's just always red.
Grape
you have
Kool-Aid
so
Man.
many you have so many varieties of Kool-Aid.
That's a really good point.
He's
Like,
always
there's like
just fruit
light
punch.
blue Kool-Aid. Like, what's going on? What are they doing?
I don't know. But I think that would have been a cool thing if they changed the color of the Kool-Aid Man every once in a while.
I agree. Yeah, that would have been cool.
Or if he had like a family.
Yeah, and they're all like children or like different
Different
flavors
colors.
and whatnot,
Yeah.
different colors.
He always breaks into the wall of his own house.
They're like, you gotta
His
stop
wife's
doing that.
man. His wife's always mad.
Shout out to the Kool-Aid Man. I'm trying to think. What did I play any? Oh, I actually had shit I wanted to talk about this week before we got into a discussion. So I'll throw out some other nerdy things. Dude. Okay. So I played a little bit of It Takes Two, which I have been wanting to play. It's fucking awesome. I only played
seen a
like
lot
the
of
first mission. So probably, I don't know, maybe like an hour or something. But it's so good so far. It's like, I love A Way Out. Like, I really like that game. And this is very much that, but like more cartoony and Pixar-y and like just genuinely more polished, it seems. Like, it seems just from like the pacing is
think it's
really
their
great.
second
It's
game.
very
Is it-
like,
The studio's second game.
yeah, third technically, but yeah.
Okay.
I think Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons was the
Oh, that's
first
right.
one a while back. And then yeah. And I remember when like if you fucking watch the playthrough on YouTube, you'll hear me and Andrew talking about it. We kept being like, this is awesome and I love this and I really want it to be successful so that the next game that he does, like we said that we want his next game to be another co-op thing, but more polished, maybe a little bit longer, but like just mechanically feel a little better because like there were shooting sections in A Way Out felt so bad. The mechanics, like literally just how that felt in the engine was awful. So bad. And we're like, please, like just fix that and we're good. And so far, dude, It Takes Two is awesome. I really like it. I want to play more. I was playing with a lady friend. It was great. I had a day I spent with her. That was fun. That's non-nerdy news. I cooked some salmon and asparagus. Whew, real good. I got to be doing
Very
cooking
nice.
more because it's so satisfying. You know what I mean?
And most of the time,
I
the
gotta
food
make
that
some
you
more
cook,
Is better
you're-
than what you're gonna do. You know?
yeah,
if-
and it's
for
like
something
you're
easy.
full. I think it's like you're full
Yeah.
faster because it's like it has. I don't know if
I just gotta make
something
salmon
like
more
that.
often too because it's very good and very easy. It's so easy to make.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
the only thing I don't like
that
like
went over
making
well.
salmon because it's like so hard. Even if you like buy like fresh salmon from the store,
Yeah.
it's like they might still have bones in it, and it's like you know what? I can eat a lot
I don't
of
think
stuff.
I've ever come across that.
Well, they're like
crazy.
really tiny,
Yeah.
so you might have eaten it and you don't even know.
Yikes.
It's literally
Ooh,
like
great.
No, but they're
good to know.
but it's just like they're so tiny.
Huh. Damn. All right. Well, I'll be on the fucking lookout now.
Well, yeah, and then, like you can't like really do anything about it. You just if you find one, it's just like annoying. It's not like a chicken bone where it's like this huge honking thing. It's like
Yeah.
these little like just very very tiny things.
Huh.
Um,
It's very easy to make though. Literally just kind of like season and then throw in the oven. It's great. I made salmon and asparagus. That was really good. Went over super well. Trying to think. Oh, also last night I had a little bit of time to actually like chill and do whatever, which is rare. So I started a game I had been meaning to since 2019, but because I fucking bounce all over the place and can't fucking focus on one thing for too long, I played that for like an hour and then eventually just started watching some YouTube and playing some other games. But I started it, fucking Concrete Genie. I've wanted to play that game forever. It's like a PlayStation exclusive, like indie sort of like 6 to 8 hours. Even though like platinum, it's like 6 to 8 hours, and it's so cute and fun. I like it a lot, and I want to play that more. Let me tell you. Let me open You want to know another game I played a little bit of last night?
What is that?
Riot Games. Guess what the fuck this is? I'll look at my camera.
I don't know.
It's
Overwatch?
League of Legends Wild Rift. It's the mobile League of Legends game. And honestly, it was pretty fucking fun. I was surprised. I was like, wow, it like controls and feels pretty good. Like, I haven't played against people yet. I did like the tutorial and then like a co-op versus AI thing. But I was playing it and I was like, this is cool as shit. Like, it works out really well. Like, the one thing I think that they did that makes it feel really good on a mobile is like your targeting. So the right thing, the right like little virtual stick you use to like target and attack. And you can like grab it and basically draw out a line to the specific minion or champion that you want to attack. But even if you just very quickly draw out a tiny little line and it doesn't exactly get to that champion or minion, it'll go to the nearest one. So you can just be like, just quick little kind of selection, which is like, I don't know, feels very good.
Games. You were that in that audience in the Diablo conference when they're like, everybody here has a phone, right? And everybody else was like, boo, and Teddy was like, yeah, I got a phone.
Yeah, I'm down. No, I don't know why I have a fascination with it. It's not even like I've said before, it's not like I've gotten like these amazing experiences on my phone before. I just want to have one.
It is just very.
To be honest, though, Wild Rift is coming to console eventually. Like, this same version is going to be on console. And that's what I want to play because the matches are going to be significantly shorter than the fucking long-ass PC matches. So I figured I'd check it out at least.
You'll need something because, like, Genshin's about to be canceled, too.
What?
Not canceled. Like, internet canceled.
Oh, why? What happened?
There's just, like, lots of drama around that.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Dude, man, fucking see, this is where we get into that time of the show where I've been reflecting on video games in my mind the whole time and talking about them, and then I start realizing, and I'm like, fuck, video games are so fucking cool. God damn, I want to play more games because Genshin is so good, and I want to play more of it, and I just haven't in a long time.
It's bad.
They added what?
Now it's bad. Now you shouldn't play it because there's.
I'm still.
Well, there's some serious things. And then there's like some not so serious things. Like sometimes like characters were supposed to be aged like older. And then I saw this on Twitter. And then like some of the dialogue is like a little questionable.
Yes.
But then there's like, the hilly churls, like so like they're like kind of loosely, there's people saying that they're loosely based on like indigenous people.
Oh.
And it's and there's I think there was like a behind the scenes in like the studio that kind of showed one of the artists like writing like alluding to this, and it was kind of like a little questionable. Now people are all like
gotta love
it. Okay, well maybe it's just
that's weird.
I would hold off for a while. I don't know.
Look more into that.
But
let me tell you though, that game is fun. But another game that's fun that's fucking similar. Immortals Phoenix Rising. Let me fucking tell you, dude, it's so good. I haven't played too much of that, but just played a little bit last week. I'm still chipping away at New Gods. I want to go through all those vaults every now and then. Like, the only problem with the vaults is that you can't fucking save. Like, I really wish you could save while you're doing that, because otherwise I would legitimately try and just chip away at that game, but instead I have to be like, oh, okay, now I have time to do a vault and then go that way. But it's great. The fucking DLC, the second one, is really fun, and I want to do more of that. Game's great. I'm gonna be playing that forever.
We got 3 more GMs, and then I'm a Gilded Conqueror in Destiny. That game there's not a lot to do. And I actually kind of like it, where it's like, you know what? I just jump in. We try to get our GM done, and then we're done. And then I play some other stuff.
Yeah.
And then in a month,
there you go.
Yeah, it's already a month and 1 day, I think.
Yeah.
And it's the new season.
Yeah, dude. While we should get to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Spoilers. Fucking there is shit to talk about this week. But I'm going to sign off to those of you who don't want to be spoiled for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Go watch it. It's so fucking good. Go watch it. It's on Disney Plus. But you can find me on twitch.tv/TeddyChinaris most nights 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. YouTube's the same, Instagram, Twitter, all the same. And catch me in streets. I'll punch you in your arm if you want.
Dude, that's not
Just
a good context. That's not good context. That's actually physical violence.
Hey, I said if they want.
You threatened me, sir, on the internet. I'm offended.
Hey, man.
Please never say that again.
Fair enough. You know.
You can find
where
me
can people find you, Tyson?
On Twitter at Tyson Pellegrini, Instagram at Pellegrini_17, and Twitch.tv/TPellegrini. And not in the streets, because keep 6 feet away from me or I will punch you.
Hey, to be fair, I'm getting my second shot next Thursday, so I'll punch anyone who wants it.
And I saw like a tweet on Twitter or like an article saying that there's like jealousy like from Canada to America, where it's like America struggled all of last year with COVID,
and now we're getting like the vaccine faster.
Fuck. It's like all it's just it's the same with like the UK. The UK is not gonna have like vaccines like as crazy as America.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's because everyone was fucking stupid. So, you know.
Well, it's also because
of
money that America has a lot more money to be able to push out these a lot faster.
Yeah. I just mean, at least I'm kind of glad that America has vaccines now, whereas other countries who at least did slightly better, you know, could, you know, that sort of kind of balances out. Not really, but sort of.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is. You know what else it is? Falcon and Winter Soldier spoiler time. What a goddamn show.
This is the best
episode.
This is the best episode so far for me.
I enjoyed it so much.
Many high points.
Great.
And it like when we get into talking about it, I just want to say that like I could almost start to see like the side of John Walker, like from his point of view, and it was just like I like his sort of descent into a villain, because you know that guy's a villain now. 100%.
It is a little predictable, but I still like how they did it. It was very good. Yeah. I've enjoyed it. I was saying before that like while I was watching it, the final moment where he, you know, takes the shield, fucking murders the man. I was saying that, like, if you're gonna commit, you know, commit, and like, don't hit him in the chest, hit him in the fucking head, you know, bash his skull in. And then I was like, and then somebody pointed out that was basically mirroring like Captain and Tony in fucking Civil War, where he like hit the chest to disable the power source dealio, the suit. And I was like, that's fair. That's a good point. That's pretty cool.
And they can't really show that, even though this is like it's still on Disney Plus, so it still has to skew a little bit younger. Yeah, and it's like even though they showed the blood on the shield, and I was like, I hope that they showed that when he was doing that.
Yeah, such a cool shot. I like that a lot.
But I kind of called it when when they were sort of fighting all upstairs, and I was like, oh, what's his face is gonna die.
Yep, I was immediately like, Lamar's
dead. He's gonna snap. And then I'm like, oh, okay, now that makes sense.
Same.
How they're going to go about this.
There were a lot of moments where I predicted stuff like about 10, 15 seconds before. Yeah. Like as soon as as soon as the fucking serum spilled on the floor, like rolled around, I was like, oh, Zima's going to start stepping on those. Like,
I thought for a second when because he picked one up and I was like, are we going to get like Super Soldier Zemo? And I was like, I would be down for that. Because one, I'm liking this villain like a lot. He's very comical. He's almost like a Loki like villain.
Yep.
Where it's like, I just like when you talk. Like you're funny, you're charming. He's and he's rich, so he's gonna have like a lot of resources. I'm like, you would be a good villain in the future for like a lower scale hero.
Yeah.
And so it's like maybe he could be a super soldier, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could see that. Then he breaks him, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense with like his ideals. Doesn't want any super soldiers. I will say what I'm trying to. This just popped into my head. Remember when he was talking to Falcon, and I love just in general the like comparison to when Zemo asks Sam if he'd take it, and there's no hesitation, no.
Yeah.
And then like later John's asking Lamar, and he's like, "Hells yeah," you know. There's a big difference there between the two, and pretty much John had either already taken it or was about to at that point, you know. But during the conversation with Sam and Zemo there, Zemo starts explaining how, you know, shouldn't be any super soldiers in the world. And then Sam's like, what about Bucky? I'm surprised he didn't be like, well, I mean, yeah, he's gotta die too. Yeah. I'm surprised he wasn't very, you know, headstrong in that, because he is very, like, I mean, yeah. It's very Zemo.
Yeah.
I like the episode, though. It was very good. I love seeing John get his fucking ass beat in by Dora Milaje.
Oh my God.
It's awesome.
So good. So
dope.
good.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to take the shield too, and I was like, yes, take it away from him. Or I thought she was going to like take it from him and then give it to Sam.
Yeah.
At least in that scene, and then Sam would have to like give it back to John. But like,
yeah, she started picking. You know, she picked it up. She did the whole like kick it up to herself. That was really cool.
I loved the scene. There were so many great action scenes. The scene at the very beginning, though, where it's just like raw and emotional, and it's just, you see like the joy at the very end when he like realizes that he's like free from the brainwashing, and that was good. Really important,
I thought, because they were very clearly establishing that him and Io had a strong bond and had a relationship. So it was like, you know, I thought that was important for the respect that she even gave him of like, you have 8 hours, you know what I mean? Like,
the weird thing, so because the Dora Milaje wanted Zemo for themselves, but Black, like T'Challa was the one who kind of like said him, like captured him at the end of Civil War. He tried to kill himself. And so it's weird that like, I was just thinking about that, where it's like, he didn't take him back to Wakanda.
Maybe he started to, you know what I mean? And then they decided that, like, because he was the one that captured him. So maybe he then went through Wakanda, or literally he just wanted to make sure that Zemo was caught. And then caught him here. Whereas here, technically, it doesn't. They probably now want him on their own because, you know, Bucky and Sam broke him out. So they're like, if we're going to lock him up again, we're going to lock him up.
Might as well
we're going to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You know? So maybe that's what that is.
And then the scene with Carly and Sam was just so good. And you just
awesome.
Started to just feel like Captain America vibes from Sam.
Yep.
Oh, it was just so good.
And I really liked how they tied that in even just before he goes in, where he said he's like, this is what I do. I talk to vets. Like, I thought that was awesome, because that is something that's where we first see him, like, not exactly first, but like close in that first movie with Sam. Yeah. And like, I don't know, I thought that was fucking awesome. Just like tying that into his character, whereas that's not something that we've seen in a while, you know?
So good. I also am like, Carly and like just the flag smashers in general are very, very interesting, because Sam has said, I think he said in that episode where he's like, I agree with your fight, but like not how you're fighting,
not the way you're
and it's just like, it's so true. Like I can see what they're trying to do, but she's making like so many missteps and like bad choices along the way, like blowing up that building. And it's like, I wonder if, could she still be redeemed in a way where we see her in the future?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Because she's a super soldier, so like, they could use her as a future hero. But I'm trying to think of all the heroes that have actually like killed of their own volition. And I don't really know if there's any. Like Bucky has, but he was brainwashed.
I mean, a bunch of them have in general, to be honest, because it's very Marvel is a lot more DC or a lot less DC when it comes to like, well, I guess fucking more DC and the fucking DCU Batman's fucking murking people, but they're a lot more lenient on the like, oh, we don't kill, you know, then we become one of them, you know, that whole deal. Cause like, I mean, one thing Tim pointed out on the fucking kind of funny reactions I watched, like Sam in episode 1 is fucking murking people and throwing them out of planes, helicopters.
I mean, killing bad guys,
and that's
yes.
like war. Yeah, exactly.
But not innocents. Nobody's killed anybody that's innocent, except
not on
for really
purpose.
Carly.
Yeah, not on purpose.
Blew up a building. I was like, that's intense.
Yeah, they were in her way.
It's like, oh man,
and she'd do it again.
And it's like,
and she's like, wait,
Bucky,
that's not what I meant.
Bucky has killed people that were innocent, but he was brainwashed, so you can't really blame him. And everybody else has kind of been same with like Wanda.
Oh my god,
she's killed innocents, but again, it was not on purpose. So.
It was an accident. Yeah,
yeah,
dude. Okay, so let me tell you about fucking this last episode of The Flash real quick, because I just want to point out a dichotomy between Marvel being good and Flash being bad. You know how Bucky was brainwashed and he definitely killed a bunch of people, but he was physically brainwashed, could not control his actions, right? Killer Frost, the character in The Flash, wasn't brainwashed. I don't believe. I'm trying to remember. She just started evil and just started murking people.
Doesn't
you know
she
what
have
I mean?
two personalities?
Yeah, that was the whole deal.
And Killer Frost.
Yeah, but Killer Frost reformed her ways. She's good now. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But now, literally in the current season, there's like an FBI agent or somebody coming to try and find and arrest Killer Frost. And Joe comes and tells her, and she's like, but I'm not that person anymore. And I was watching this and I went, that's not how crime works. That's not how laws work, dude. Like, it doesn't matter that you've reformed. You're going to fucking
reforming
jail.
Is different. Reforming is different than literally being brainwashed.
Yeah,
where you can't control your actions.
That's one thing that I just remembered and I had to point out because I'm like, oh, God, it's not how laws work, dude.
Oh, Flash.
I gotta stop. I gotta
really
stop.
do.
I can't.
Look at all of the hours that you've devoted to the Flash.
It's upsetting.
And even just this season alone. Yeah, this season, literally, you've devoted. How many episodes is there?
6, I think.
So you've watched 6 episodes.
45 minutes
around
each.
40 minutes. I'm not good at math. What is that? 240 minutes.
Yeah, around. Yep.
240 minutes. That's at least like 2 classic movies.
It's fair.
See, this is the thing: is you're not choosing Avatar over these pivotal movies. You're choosing the Flash, and that is where I draw the line. Which is so much worse.
Like even rewatching Avatar is incredible, and that's okay. But God, Flash, what am I? It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's not good.
Then stop.
It's not fucking good.
Are you gonna stop?
I need to.
No, not I need to. See, you use this language to perpetrate your future actions. Those are big words, but it's true. That's what you're doing. It's like, I need to, but it's like, no, you're not saying, yes, I will stop watching The Flash.
You're correct. I'm saying the words that I'm saying on purpose. Because at the moment, I don't plan on stopping, but I should. And I'm aware that I should.
I'm sorry, but that's not good enough.
It's an addiction. That's what that is.
And that's the thing.
It's me hoping.
You have to acknowledge you have an addiction.
You gotta get better.
You are acknowledging that you have an addiction to something that is killing your brain cells. Less serious than actual addictions, but it is an addiction. You have acknowledged it. Now the next step is you have to say out loud, I will not watch The Flash anymore.
I mean, I'm not going to commit to saying that right now, but, you know. Here's the problem. Like, if I start a show, I want to finish it, even if it gets really bad. I rarely drop shows. Like,
I drop them like that. If I'm not benefiting, if I'm not like having fun, even if it's in the last season, and I did this with Sons of Anarchy, because like this show is fucking terrible in the last season, because it was just the same shit over and over again.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what?
do that.
I'm not gonna finish this. And
Never do
the
that.
girlfriend that I was with at the time, she finished it, and she was like, "Yeah, it was terrible." And I'm like, "Good. I'm glad that I passed up that."
Yeah.
Because it's just time. Think about it. Your time is precious. It's like
You're
that.
right.
It's like
I mean,
Golem.
there have been a few shows that I
Precious.
have dropped, and most of them, honestly, are the fucking CW, DC,
Exactly.
Arrowverse. But, like, even Arrow, though, I dropped for a bit and then just kept an eye on the subreddit, and then when people were like, fuck, this is good, and then I was like, okay, I'll come back. But, like, Supergirl definitely dropped that shit real quick. That one was real bad. But Supergirl was easier to drop because there weren't any really good seasons. Like, it was fine and then bad. Whereas Flash was really good and now that was just bad. So I keep hoping.
But it's
I'm
bad.
like, come on.
just
Yeah,
drop it.
And it's been bad for a while. You know what I mean?
You just
I don't
cut
think
it.
it's coming back.
It's like that cancerous limb, and you just chop it off at the elbow. Cut it
Honestly,
off.
probably.
You can't be like, you know what? No, my arm's gonna get better.
It
you
could
got a-
with the
if
power
you've got a
of prayer,
flesh-eating
Tyson.
disease,
Anything's possible.
You got a flesh-eating disease called the Flash, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it for now.
Maybe what I do
and it might
is
get better.
I just rewatch season 1 and 2 and then stop and then be
Just-
like, that's it.
Just
I'm
make
done.
your own season in your mind and play that out, and then just that's
Yeah.
how it ended.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm looking at, I actually have this website. It's literally called trackseries.tv, and it has like shows where you can just mark off like, you know, episode 1 watched and all. So you like keep track of what you've watched because I'm OCD and I love that shit. But it's also really good for keeping up with current shows. Like I'll forget that an episode came out and I'll open it and be like, oh yeah, My Hero came out on Saturday. I should watch that. And I'm looking at this because I have a list of shows that I want to watch. And there's so many. There's a bunch of really good ones too. You know what I mean? Like,
But
Star Wars Rebels
good
is
is
down
questionable. When like what is good?
fucking Breaking Bad and like Man
Well,
in High Castle.
I have a hot
is
take.
really
I have
good
a hot
and-
take on Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's not a spoilery, but like one, the show is spoiled for me, not intentional. But like the
think
ending
there's-
was spoiled for me, and so
Yeah.
when I actually watched it, the ending didn't have as much of an impact.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't really like Walter White. I wanted more of an evil character, an evil protagonist, like House of Cards. Like what is
Yeah.
it, Frank Underwood? Frank Underwood was that perfect, like
See,
just
my worry
evil
is that he'd
person.
be too evil. That's literally why I haven't watched Breaking Bad, because I don't want to watch a show about like an evil person. You know what I mean?
But it's good when it's done right. Like with House of Cards, Frank Underwood, one, he would always talk to you, like the audience. He breaks that fourth wall, so it's like you're in on his plan the whole time. But he's an
Yeah.
evil guy. But he's also charming, and it's like I like that you acknowledge that you're evil. Like the character acknowledges
Yeah.
that he's evil. Whereas Walter White always still kind of felt that he was a
But
good
isn't that,
guy,
like-
but doing bad
Yeah.
things. And I'm like, I don't.
But isn't
know
that what
guy.
that's supposed to be about? It's like the complexity and the gray area, like where, you know, people do shit for their own reasons and their own motivations, even if it's not, you know, it's not Lord of the Rings, it's not evil and good. The
I guess-
darkness of Destiny 1.
He just always seemed afraid.
Yeah.
To me, he always was like, well, because one, he's a chemist teacher. Spoilers, that's like the first
Yeah.
episode. But he's like a chemist
I did
teacher,
know
so
that.
obviously he's out of his element. But I would think like over 5 seasons, you'd get a little bit darker. And there were some.
Yeah, I was
little
gonna
bit.
say I thought I have heard about that. Like, there's apparently, I don't remember the quote, but there's like one line that people say that was like the moment.
I'm the one who knocks.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah,
Yeah, but he says it to his wife, and it's like not super intimidating.
Well, I have that on here. I have like
It's
Batman
still
the
it's still a
animated
good
series.
show. It's still a good show.
I have a bunch of shows. You want to know what show I have on here that is the longest?
One Piece.
Fucking 968
Take that off.
episodes.
Take that off. You're never going to watch that.
I'm never going back to it. I did for a bit, and I really enjoyed it.
You should have, if you want an
it's real
anime,
long.
you know, look, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon.
Dude. There's one anime on here that I probably am going to watch.
Anime.
It's called Demon Slayer. I've heard everyone talk good things.
Yeah, there's only one season of that, I think.
Yeah.
I've watched Demon Slayer.
It's like 26 episodes.
Very good. Fringe.
Right,
you have that to watch.
I actually do have that on here, and I was going to say I think that's from you.
One of the best shows. Tippy Top.
Tippy Top.
On the Tippy Top.
I gotta. Hey, don't do that. She was just rolling around. It was very cute.
Oh.
What?
Do you know she's being filmed?
She literally like rolled around on her back. Oh, there's the little.
She's like, no more playing.
She like rolled around on her back and was doing the whole like, scratching kind of deal. Oh my god. Well, Falcon and Winter Soldier, very, very good. Really enjoyed it. Excited for more.
Also, we didn't mention Loki trailer. 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah. I watched that. It was very good.
Excited for that.
It's a really good trailer.
And now I actually think that they are going to tie that back in with literally what's going on with him or what's going on with like everybody else.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be like his own little side thing because obviously he took the Tesseract and broke a branch of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna somehow
Yeah,
make everything tied together.
I came off originally thinking it was going to be tied together, and after seeing the trailer, thinking it's going to be a lot more of an independent thing.
And you think it's more independent?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it going either way, to be honest.
I think it's gonna. Well, I don't know if it's gonna end on this note, but I feel like this is their way of somehow bringing him still back.
Yeah.
Even though he's a different Loki than the one that we lost, he'll still be able. He'll redeem himself in the TV
That is
show,
very likely.
and then bring him back, and he'll be sort of good, and maybe Owen Wilson will come along because they're like they're trying to fix the timeline.
Yeah, the Black Widow trailer too was fucking awesome. There's one final Black Widow trailer, and normally I wouldn't watch that, but Kind of Funny did like a reaction on it, and I just figured, fuck it, why not? Just a very good trailer. I'm very excited for that movie.
I'm so happy that like we get a Black Widow movie, we get a nice send off for Natasha.
Yeah,
because that funeral scene for her was shitty.
Oh yeah, that's true.
For her, they did nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
For Tony, they got everybody in. I'm like, he knew that when he snapped his fingers, he would save everybody. She didn't know what was going to happen, but she still sacrificed herself. Her death means more than Iron Man's. I'm sorry.
Damn. Hot take.
It does. It really does.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun. Glad it's coming out to Disney Plus as well. Premiere, whatever.
I think that one I'll definitely pay the premiere cost.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I mean, I'm probably actually going to be vaccinated. I might actually be able to go to a movie. I don't know.
I'm still, even after I'm going to get vaccinated, I'm still going to be very weary and I don't know. I'm still not going to.
The only reason I'm going to be wary is there's still studies, or there's not enough studies done yet that show that you don't carry it. They just don't have the results for that stuff yet. Apparently they started to get the results, and they're good signs that you don't, but it's not definitive or anything yet. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. This doggo is chilling, just him being pet, and I'm going to go walk her. And I actually have to go get her some food because she's out of food. And I'm going to get some coffee for myself. It's going to be a good rest of the day here. Yeah.
Sounds good. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Hell yeah.
Just going to relax. No, I'm going to go for a run.
Leftover pizza.
Hell yeah. I've been running every other day. So
nice. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. You know, like, subscribe, smash that bell.
button.
You know, punch your monitor so hard that
Make
you
a review of
Yep.
the episode on your
you
YouTube or TikTok or whatever.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah, do like a
Inception
little
of
TikTok. Be
content.
like, oh, you know, this is fucking 10 out of 10.
There
Do
you
like
go.
a duet. Is that what they call it? I think that's the thing. That's what the kids are saying. I know these things. I'm a Zoomer, you know. I
You're a
know all
Zoomer.
about this. You
You're
know?
a Zoomer.
Clearly. All right, well, we'll see you all next Monday. Bye.
Yeah.